Hello, and welcome to Spiritual Calisthenics. Today, on Monday, March 28th, we are entering the fourth week of Great and Holy Lent. Once again, we are in Isaiah, Genesis, and Proverbs. So in Isaiah 14, the Lord of hosts has sworn, "As I have planned, so shall it be, and as I have purposed, so shall it stand, that I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains trample him underfoot, and his yoke shall depart from them, and his burden from his shoulder. This is the purpose that is the proposed concerning the whole earth, and that this is the hand that is stretched out over all nations. For the Lord of hosts has purposed, and who will annul it? His hand is stretched out, and who will turn it back? In the year of King Ahaz died came his oracle. Rejoice not, O Philistia, all of you, that the rod which smote you is broken. From the serpent's root will come forth an adder, and its fruit will be a flying serpent. And the firstborn of the poor will feed, and needy lie down in safety. But I will kill your root with famine, and your remnant I will slay. Wail, O great cry, O city, melt in fear, O Philistia, all of you, for smoke comes out of the north, and there is no straggler in his ranks. What will one answer for the messengers of this nation? The Lord has founded Zion, and the afflicted of her people find refuge." And so the Orthodox Study Bible, when we look at chapter 14, 24 through 32, tells us that God accomplishes these things in history to show the nations that Zion, symbolic of the church, has been established by God of Israel as a place of refuge where the humble of his people shall be saved, where none of the demons, none of the dragons, none of the serpents will prevail. As we continue into Genesis, we skipped a few verses because of the Feast of the Annunciation, but basically we have seen that God sent the twig of olive back in the beak of the dove, symbolizing peace, symbolizing the Holy Spirit, symbolizing that God has relented and that they will get out of the ark. And Noah was commanded to offer a sacrifice, and so he took all of the clean animals and made a whole burnt offering on the altar, which is the offering of praise that we do as Christians within our liturgies. And when the Lord smelled this pleasing odor, the Lord said in his heart, "I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again destroy every living creature as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease." So in other words, until the final coming, until the Holy Spirit comes to basically cleanse the world in fire, the earth will stay on its normal trajectory, normal seasons, normal everything. And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth. The fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every bird of the air, upon everything that creeps on the ground, and all the fish of the sea. Unto your hand they are delivered." So this is the covenant of God, the blessing of God. And so man is given dominion over the earth once again. "Every moving thing that lives shall be food for you, and as I gave you the green plants, I give you everything. Only you shall not eat flesh with its blood, with its life, that is its blood. For your lifeblood I will surely require a reckoning. Of every beast I will require it, and of man. Of every man's brother I will require the life of man. Whoever sheds the blood of man, by man shall his blood be shed. For God has made man in his own image, and you be fruitful and multiply, bring forth abundantly on the earth and multiply." And so God has given this commandment that we are to have dominion and we are to live in a righteous manner, that we are not to kill, because when we kill, violence begets violence, blood begets blood. And it's interesting when we talk about the idea of not eating with blood, we talk right next to violence here, is that it has been linked that the more red meat you eat, the more temperamental you become, the more angry you become, the more violent you can possibly become. And so there is that link as to why it's good to not eat red meat. The Orthodox Study Bible says that God not only remembered Noah, he also blessed him. Remembrance is salvation, and so is blessing. Many scriptures speak to this. For example, the psalmist said, "He shall receive blessings from the Lord and mercy from the God of his salvation." Finally, we look to Proverbs, chapter 11, 19 through 12. 6. "He who is steadfast in righteousness will live, but he who pursues evil will die." Again, we're continuing with this dichotomy. "Men of perverse mind are an abomination to the Lord, but those of blameless ways are his delight. Be assured, an evil man will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will be delivered. Like a gold ring in a swine's snout is a beautiful woman without discretion. The desire of the righteous ends only in good. The expectation of the wicked is wrath. I love how that's the idea of like it's a you got a beautiful gold ring, but it's in a pig. That's what it's like when you have the idea of beauty without the actual virtues that go with it. One man gives freely, yet grows all the richer. Another withholds what he should give and only suffers want. So, in other words, the more we give, the more we receive back. And the more we try to hold on to things, the more we're going to lose. A liberal man will be enriched, and one who waters will himself be watered. The people curse him who holds back grain, but a blessing is on the head of him who sells it. So this is talking about good stewardship. This is talking about how we ought to give of our goods. The more that we give to the poor, the more that we try to enrich others, we ourselves are enriched. He who diligently seeks good seeks favor, but evil comes to him who searches for it. He who trusts in his riches will wither, but the righteous will flourish like a green leaf. He who troubles his household will inherit wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteous is a tree of life, but lawlessness takes away lives. If the righteous is requited on earth, how much more the wicked and the sinner? Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but he who hates reproof is stupid. A good man obtains favor from the Lord, but a man of evil devices he condemns. A man is not established by wickedness, but the root of righteousness will never be moved. A good wife is the crown of her husband, but she who brings shame is like a rottenness to his bones. The thoughts of the righteous are just. The counsels of the wicked are treacherous. The words of the wicked lie in wait for blood, but the mouth of the upright delivers them. So in other words, again, this dichotomy that if we are liberal with our giving, that we will receive richly in return. And that when we live upright and we attach ourselves to upright people, that we will continue to be blessed and our standing in both the world and in God's eyes will be redeemed and will be shown. And the words of the wicked lie in wait for blood is referred back to by St. Paul in his letter to the Romans, talking about how we've all become unprofitable, how we've all gone to shed blood with our mouths because we do not contain our tongues. I hope that you've enjoyed today's spiritual calisthenics. Have a blessed and wonderful day.